Hi, how's it going? How's everybody doing today? Just get my chat up here. Man, why isn't it working? What's up, Ed? How's it going? How's it going? Whoa, 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 whoa. Why isn't it not showing my chat? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Just one sec. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Um, yeah, things are good. There, I got my chat finally. All right. Well, today's Thursday, August 7th, 2025. Pretty nifty. Ugh. Let me just pull up here. So, uh, hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, hope everybody's, doing good. Um, what's exciting? Well, um, what's happening this week? Let's see. Hey, Brian, what's up, man? How's it going? Yeah, my wife got home yesterday, which is awesome. She got home from her business trip, so um, I'm now have some little bit more free time to work on some stuff, which is good. Um, Also, my dad dropped off a bunch of cabinets earlier on the weekend on the holiday on Monday, the holiday, and yeah, so I got all my cabinets and that I want to install in the basement, the workshop, and I got he gave me like a little counter as well. So that'll be really handy to have. Um, so yeah, I'm hoping to get like a full day in tomorrow, hopefully, getting some of that stuff installed, uh, so I can finally move over all my stuff over there. And so yeah, I'm gonna do like I've got I guess like about 9 feet of counter space now with that. So I'm gonna have like a little spot in the middle where I can set up like my what do you call it? Like a stool. Have like a little, soldering area kind of thing, which I think will be really nice to have. And yeah, then I can finally move all this stuff over on that side, declutter, you know, and have a little bit more space to make a mess and kind of spread out. And then this will be my beat making area, my music making area. I've got my half stack set up. It's going to be part of I'm going to be trying to play more guitar in the new stuff. That's something that's coming down the road. I keep getting messages about my kids' daycare. Um, anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna have that set up probably back here, and I might keep this desk here for setting up gear and stuff. I think that works well. So I'm gonna do that, and but these lights, I'm probably going to move to the other side. I don't know. I still got to figure some stuff out. Some logistics. Still got to figure some stuff out. But yeah, the roll top desk is going over to that side for sure. I think it's just going to be better on that side. Um, I don't really need a desk over here. Anyways, so yeah, that's, not the most exciting stuff I know, but, I think it's going to be good. Excited to get a full day of work in on that tomorrow. Um, what else? Yeah, maybe, hopefully, gonna get some, more like, um, hopefully get another video up next week, next Wednesday. Um, Trying to think of what I want to do, but I think I might just build like one of those like mini amps kind of thing that I was talking about before. I think that could be really good. I feel like I need to change it up a little bit before we dig back into like full on samplers again and stuff, because the samplers and stuff are like pretty full on with combining the electronics part of it and the programming side of it. Excuse me. So yeah, I feel like I need like a just straight up electronics project. Um, just something that I can just solder together and, you know, just kind of like have another amp. So yeah. And then yeah, I've got my other head too, actually, that I want to eventually build a 4 by 12 cabinet for. Um, so I can run a bunch of amps in parallel. Yeah, for guitar playing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And just for other stuff, like I hook up like cuz right now I hook up when I'm using the sampler, when I'm using the this guy, I normally now I have a 1/8 inch or 3.5 millimeter output on it, but usually I just run it into an amp and sample off the amp. I could run it right into Ableton Live or whatever, like with a line input on my computer or whatever, but usually I just, run it right into a guitar amp kind of thing. So I could use it for that too. Um, yeah, I just use it for all kinds of stuff. Little amps are always handy to have, I find. And eventually I want to build, eventually I'd like to build, take kind of like the amp part of it, amp, some sort of amp build, and then do like a powered speaker for playback eventually. So like I don't want to say like DIY like studio monitors, but in that vein, you know what I mean? Um, yeah, I think that would be really cool too. But that's down the road. That's down the road. But I think that would be something that everybody would probably find useful as well, especially with, getting more outboard gear being built. It'd be nice to have something to listen back. And yeah, it'd be really cool. But anyway, SP 1200. What are we doing? Well, I'll be completely honest with you both, and anybody who else is here, is I did not get a ton done this week. As I mentioned before, my wife was out of town, and so I was solo parenting. So I was, um, yeah, didn't get a ton done. When if you ever had to take care of a 3-year-old or almost 3-year-old, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. Um, she is in daycare, but yeah, my two kids are three, one's almost three, and the other is 7. So, and they don't have any like summer plans for like camp and stuff. So, yeah. So I didn't get a ton done, but I thought it would be a good idea to at least talk about kind of what I'm thinking we're gonna do, um, and kind of like the status. I did mention in the beat making live stream that I received some parts, but I thought it would be a good idea to go over kind of like what I've got on hand right now, um, and kind of just talk about. We'll take a look at the service manual again and kind of talk about what I'm thinking we're gonna do to kind of recreate, um, what I imagine is a fairly significant portion of the SP 1200. Um, but yeah, so first things first. I got this little guy here. This is the S3. Uh, yeah, the S3. It's in my hands. I'm pretty sure this is what we're gonna use. I was looking into at one point. I was looking into possibly using a Teensy. Um, there's a lot of benefits to using a Teensy. The onboard SD card is pretty nice. Um, it would be a nice thing to have. Also, there is, I believe, onboard digital to audio converters. Don't quote me on that, though. I'm not 100% sure. But one of the things that I didn't like about it was anywhere that I was trying to find a good price on a teensy, it was like $100. Why is it $100? It just, you know, um, it just seems like overly expensive to me. Um, for us, for our project. Uh, Also considering, I think as Brian mentioned before, like we're going to be using multiple microcontrollers for this project, right? Um, and I don't see like any inherent benefit to using the Teensy uh, over any other microcontroller. I know that people say it's like, oh, it's designed, it's built for like audio projects and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just don't understand. Uh, like I don't have any experience using it specifically. Somebody might be able to comment on it. Um, but yeah, I think like the DAC might be like a better like optimized for audio. But yeah, it just I just don't. Yeah, I just want to keep the cost on this project pretty. I want it attainable for everybody. Um, and you can get these S3s really cheap. Like I didn't buy them from AliExpress. I bought them from Amazon, and I got three of them, and it was like 25 bucks Canadian. So like you can get them pretty cheap. Um, and I think you can get them even cheaper on AliExpress. You can get like 10 of them for like 30 bucks. Like it's insane. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, and they're yeah. So anyway, so I got the S3. What else did I get? I got this guy, the DAC that Brian recommended. This guy here, which is the PCM 5102. So this is like a stereo output situation. Um, yeah, it seems like from what Brian was saying, I think it's really easy to use. Oh, sorry. For audio, you still need to use an external codec on the Teensy. Okay, okay, gotcha. So I mean, yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess it has a lot of I/O. I'm guessing. I know that it has more I/O than the than this guy, the S3, and I know that the S3 also has like it's kind of finicky in terms of what pins you can use, right? Um, but I'd rather go with something that's just cheaper, and I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. And having like external modules and stuff to me makes a lot of sense. Like, um, you know, uh, yeah, lots of I/O pins, but like um like the onboard SD card, like that kind of stuff. It seems like really great and everything, but I think for our purposes, like having separate modules might just be easier. I know it's a lot of like extra hookup wires when we're doing like the breadboarding part of it, but I think like just buy a module. You can get those little micro SD card modules super cheap. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just going to be smarter just to go this route. Um, uh, yeah. Um, but yeah, this 5102. Sorry, well, I pedal backwards a little bit here. It's a stereo output, but I was looking at the service manual for the SP1200, and it looks like their DAC module as well is a stereo or like a dual output DAC, right? So my yeah. It will be definitely more approachable for sure. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And get more experience in dealing with different components and sort of like, um different yeah, I think it'll just make a lot of sense. And and having something like a little more, like modular is going to be really nice, like when we're because we can we can really direct our attention to like specific spot components, and I think it'll make the whole project a lot clearer. I think for clarity, it'll really help just making the portions of a project a lot clearer, I think. Um, Maybe not, maybe, I don't know. But I think in terms of price point, in terms of uh, just ease of use, that kind of stuff, I just think this is going to make a lot more sense. And thanks to Brian for bringing all these components up. I just soldered some header pins onto an to a SD card adapter. It works just fine. Okay, cool, nice. Um, yeah, the we can. I've made my own adapter in the past, but I think we should just get like a pre-made module. You can get those really cheap too, right? You can get like them really inexpensive. So I think it's the smartest way to do it. Um, Let me just pull up. Let me just pull up the service manual because I want to show you guys what I'm thinking, what we're going to recreate basically. So let me just move out of the way here. Let's go in the right hand corner today. So so this is basically what we're going to do. We're going to do some op amping. Um, so this is basically how we're going to set up our deck as well. So we're going to do a couple op amps. I'm not sure what this LF356 is. Let's look that up real quick. But let's just take a quick peek. Just give me one sec. LF356. Uh, yeah, it's an op amp, straight up op amp. JFET input, operational amplifier. Okay, so we're gonna do some op amping at the output stage. Um, I haven't had a real, like I said, I haven't had a lot of free time to really dig into the operation of this particular circuit. But it seems pretty straightforward, you know, um, nothing too crazy. Uh, I'm not sure what all these pots do, but I'm guessing that yeah, I'm not sure. I have to take some time and really dig uh, into how this kind of like operates. And yeah, I have to get my textbooks out. But yeah, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do so then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this circuit here with a CD 4051, which is like multiplexer, multiplexer, or I guess we're demultiplexing. So we're gonna take the one DAC output, this output here, and using this demultiplexer, we're going to divide it up across all 8 channels. In the cell, we're going to try to keep this pretty similar to the SP1200. To the like, we're going to try to keep it pretty much this circuit. We might have to do another. I have to figure out exactly how this works. Um, but yeah, we're going to be doing this as probably have to do this as well, which is just like I'm not really clear on what this op amp circuit does as well, but I know that this ADC, this 8-bit ADC, is basically sending like volume data um, in conjunction with the audio data. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the plan. Is we're just going to be recreating this page um, using this DAC. That's basically what we're going to be doing. Um, I th it should work straight up. It should work if we get all the gain staging correct. Um, and if we keep to you know, um, using similar op amps and stuff, we should be able to do this no problem. It's a little bit extra circuitry, but it's just going to cut down on the amount of parts that we're going to need um, down the road, right? And then my thought is, sorry, my thought is that we're going to have basically one um, S3 kind of dedicated to this uh, um, sort of like audio output. So it's going to be kind of like our voice module, our audio voice control kind of thing. And then, maybe we'll do another one that kind of takes care of like the screen and the inputs and stuff like that. And then we'll have one um, that takes care of maybe like communications or something like that, like dealing with the MIDI and the sequencing and all the kind of like more time specific stuff. Um, that's kind of my thought. Uh, so um, I don't know. Does anybody have any suggestions or any thoughts on that at all? I'll give you guys a second to kind of think about what I said. I know it's not super clear yet, but um, I hope it made a little bit of sense. I guess the one thing, just thinking out loud, is that yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that I'm not super clear yet, but uh, I really need to take a little bit more time to dig in. Um, but I guess the one drawback to all this is that we're gonna have to have a pretty hefty power supply. Um, because because these op amps are powered with plus or minus 15, right? The way I did it was because the ESP32 is dual core, I dedicated one core to audio processing and the other did everything else. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I guess then we would probably do some sort of like multiplexing for no, not really late, bud. Abnorm, you're not really late. We're just going over some stuff. I didn't get a ton done this week. Um so we're just kind of hammering out some basic stuff right now. Um but yeah. Um just replying to Brian's comment there. That's interesting. I think we can all take a look at that too. If you have um yeah. Okay. Um okay. That's cool. So really like and that's based on the playback that you were doing with your drum machine, right? Brian? That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't think we would need, I mean, we shouldn't need multiple, I mean, we shouldn't need multiple for playback, right? Um, I guess we just have to make sure that we have enough IO for hooking everything up. I guess we could, well, it's like I said right before, like we could go down to an OLED and a what do you call it? Oh, shit. Come on, Dave. An OLED and rotary encoder. God. Um, for navigation and stuff like that, right? So we might be able to get away with using one, maybe two, you know? Um, hmm. Are we still adding effects? Do you mean the filter stuff? But yeah, that would be, I think the filtered output kind of is neat. It's a lot of, I mean, if we're building all this extra circuitry to do to powering, for powering the op amps anyway, we might as well just do the filtered outputs as well, if that makes sense. Um, because they're using, obviously they have like plus or minus 15 powering these op amps here, and then they have um uh plus 5 volts for the logic level stuff. So um yeah. Yeah, the filtering is just some op amp stuff, right? We were looking at before. There are these dynamic filters that are applied to channels one and 0 and 1, which uh, which is kind of neat. Um, and then there's these filters here uh, that are applied to the rest of the channels. No, a whole internal effects unit. Oh, I'm, you know, um, I don't see why we couldn't put in some internal effects. You know, yeah, I mean, I don't see why we couldn't. You know, yeah, yeah, we could do it in code. Yep, we could definitely do it in code. Um, because I think I mentioned before that these guys, these chips aren't exactly easy to come by, but doing them in code is definitely possible. Um, yeah, I like that idea, Brian. Solid. But yeah, man, I gotta build this stuff so I understand what these circuits do. I gotta get to that this weekend for sure. Now that I'll be able to have some free time. Um, but yeah, does the what's the? Let me just take a look. I'm just gonna pull up pinout on the S3. I just want to see something. Pinout. Should be this one. There we are. Here's the pin reference. Let's see. Okay. Man, they got a ton of ADCs on here, eh? Okay. It sucks that that doesn't have any onboard digital audio converters, eh? Because then we could do the volume. We could totally bypass um, the need for um, this guy here. It's too bad. Okay. Well, yeah, but I think we can get a pretty simple 8-bit digital audio converter, no problem. How much of a pain will it be to get all these parts? Well, the stuff that I've ordered so far that I'm going to be working with is I ordered everything off Amazon at the moment, um, and likely DigiKey maybe, but I'd like to keep it to something, if we can get stuff like from places like Amazon and stuff like that, and there won't be a long wait for people. I think that would be really handy. But DigiKey is usually pretty fast too, especially um, if you're ordering in. I obviously I have no. Uh, I'm sure there's part places uh, in the UK and Europe and stuff. If anybody's in that direction, that would be able to supply in North American could be, DigiKey's really fast. Um, so we're trying to whittle it down to parts that um, aren't too difficult to come by. You know, that's a big part of it. Let's just see some. Uh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's also Tata Electronics. Yeah, yeah, we'll be able to. The idea is that we're going to be using stuff that's like pretty, that's common uh, to get. Um, yeah, I really need to dig into how these circuits operate because I'm wondering if we can go with um, a lower voltage requirement, like a lower voltage on some of these op amp circuits. Um, just because it's a pretty beefy. We're looking at a pretty beefy supply right now, right? It's like um, it's got +5 and they've got plus or minus 15. Now I've got. Let me show you guys what I use for some of this stuff. Sometimes let me just blow myself up here. I've got this, which is it's from Frequency Central, and it's basically like a Eurorack um, power supply. It's got plus or minus 12 and +5 on it. Um, Uh, yeah, and you just power it with like um, a DC power, or not, sorry, not DC power brick, an AC power brick. Um, but again, like I think we could probably recreate something like this on the board. Um, but I guess we got to figure that out because yeah, we got to figure that part out of it because if we can't, yeah, the op amp circuits are going to be the tricky part. Hmm. I guess we could get like a lower powered op amp. Just then, I don't know if the output voltages make a difference when it's going to the 4051. Let's look up the data sheet. Yeah, yep, possibly, possibly. 4051. Let's just take a quick peek. Oh no, why can't it open the page? Excuse me. Am I booted? Am I still live? Oh no. Okay, here we go. This is what we're looking at here at buck 29. See what the input. Okay, good. So here we go. Uh, Supply range 3 volts to 20 volts, so that's good. There's a dual supply range. Um, Channels in out. Channel. What's the input of the channels though? What's it expecting? Mm, on on channel leakage input input. Oh, man. Oh boy. Hmm. I need to actually read what I'm reading here. I'm trying to just pick it out. Um, Signal inputs. Signal inputs and outputs. So this is powered with 5 volts, right? Powered with 10 volts, 15 and 20. Drain to source resistance on. 0 is less than or equal to the input signal. but it's less than or equal to the supply voltage. Hmm. V supply plus or minus. Okay. I got to play with this so I can make sense of this data sheet. Typical 3.5 volts. Okay. Input high voltage. So it depends what we're powering. It looks like the input is dependent on what we're powering with it, what we're powering the chip with. Okay. I think that makes sense. Okay. Oh, wait. So this is powered by 5 volts. Okay. Right. We're looking at this one. Okay. Well, yeah, I gotta take my time with this and think about and build it. Anyway, yeah, I gotta look into the power supply stuff big time. Because that's a pretty hefty power supply for everybody to have to build. So if we could do it all like 5 volts kind of thing, that would be more ideal if possible. But again, I don't know. I gotta build some of this stuff. Anyway, sorry, I didn't realize that I didn't move my cell. You guys could not see what I'm doing there. God. Anyway, well, boy, I'm really something sometimes. Anyway, guys, yeah, I was looking at the data sheet and you guys could not see any of that. So that's really neat. Really, really still not great at live streaming. Anyways, so yeah, I need a little bit more time to dig into this a bit more and sort get this stuff sorted out in my head. Um, but I think we have a direction and that's sort of the main thing. Um, So, Brian, I think I might send you a couple messages. I want to pick your brain a little bit about the what you were mentioning before, um, using the one core for the audio processing and the other for the all the other stuff. Um, would I'll likely DM you at some point over the next few days as I sort of start to um, get some of this stuff built and whatnot. Um, so yeah, I might have a couple questions. Cool, awesome, thanks, man. Just because I know that you've got a lot of it, you've obviously you've got the sample playback part of it working really well. So I'm really interested to get into that a bit more. So that's awesome. That's awesome. But anyways, yeah, that's unfortunately it for today. Sorry, I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really have a ton um, done at this point. I really wish I had more done to talk to you guys about. I'm sorry about that. I really am. Um, but anyways, yeah. I'll dig in a bit more and then we'll reconvene next week and hopefully we'll be, well, no, we will. We will. We will be in a better place for a better discussion and I'll have a better idea of how to get this thing done. And then we can I think it would be probably useful to start, tallying kind of like a component list and stuff and get that going. Because I mean, it's August 7th, right? And if we're starting at some point in the in September. Like, whew, we're getting close. It's 3 weeks away. So, yeah, it's 3 weeks away, but I mean, we have 4 weeks in September too. So, you know, but still, we're getting close. So we need to be able to have um, kind of a working bill of materials and stuff. And yeah, yeah, it happens. It happens. It's all part of life's great journey, you know? But yeah, and one thing I'll do too is what Abnorm was talking about, sort of getting sourcing parts that everybody can follow, or order easily. Um, that's something that will make a part of the bill of materials. I think it would be cool to have some options from like AliExpress. Yeah, no, you're right, man. Yeah, but we'll pick out some like AliExpress links, and we'll pick out some Amazon links, and maybe even some DigiKey links to some of this stuff. Just, I know some people have like an issue with Amazon, which is totally cool. Like, some people don't want to order from Amazon. That's totally fine. I get it. Um, and people want to support the manufacturers, or part supplies people that are local to them or whatever. That's totally cool. We'll try to pick stuff that is readily available, and nobody has to go hunting for anything. um so yeah, anyways, yeah, Mouser too, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've used Mouser in the past too, and they're great. um yeah, so we'll do that for sure. I'm a complete noob at digital. You won't be by the end of this, buddy. You know what I mean? That's awesome, though. That's great. That's great. We'll get this stuff done, and yeah. So, anyways, we'll be in a better spot next week. I promise. I'll get in a better spot, and we'll have a lot more to kind of organize and what have you. Um, But yeah, the one drawback, about that is, sorry, Brian just said, I'm lucky. AliExpress is really good to the UK, usually only about a week. Oh wow, that's great. Well, like I've haven't ordered from AliExpress in a while, and but when I did, it took like a month. And that was a while ago though, so I don't know if it's any different now. I don't um you know, I haven't really ordered anything from them recently. Um, but yeah, I might give them a shot again, just because I have to say the last time I ordered from PCB Way, like prior to the ESP32 project, it took like a month to um, uh, get back to me, and this time it took like what, like 4 days or something. It was insane. I couldn't believe it. So yeah. Okay, it takes a week from AliExpress. Paula Era, where just out of curiosity, are you in North America, or are you in uh, overseas, or like in the UK or anything like that? I know Brian's in the UK, so, but here in Canada, this was a while ago. It took a while, so, but a week isn't that bad. A week's pretty good. We'll definitely get some like different selection of kind of like vendors that people can order from, because I know people have their preferences. So, and it's literally just finding some extra links. Oh, you're in Germany? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, for here in Canada, this was like a couple of years ago, so it's likely changed. But when I ordered from AliExpress, it took a long time to get here. But again, that was a while ago, so it might be completely different. Because, like I said, PCB Way, they delivered to me in like 4 days, which was insane. I couldn't believe it. Because the previous time before that I ordered from them, it was like I said, it was like a month. So Yeah, same here. Yeah, no kidding. It would be wild, right? Anyway, guys, take it easy. I'll be posting a link or my usual my beat making live stream for Saturday night again. So if you feel like coming out for that, please do. I'm gonna definitely hook up the sampler this week and start running some samples through this guy, and then putting it back into Ableton and hopefully, making it sound interesting and textured. So, anyways, yeah, next week will be a little bit more focused, I think, and we'll get more done. So, yeah. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you coming out, and I will keep you posted on how things are going, and hopefully get a video out on Sunday um, with more of the basement done, and then yeah, hopefully next week we'll yeah. Hopefully next week we'll I'll have another project posted, and then on Thursday we'll get some good stuff done on this guy and more organized and just clearer vision of how we're going to accomplish the SP 1200, right? Anyways, guys, take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your week, and get out and enjoy the beautiful weather if it's, you know, beautiful where you are. All right. Take it easy.